we need to celebrate that throughout this year. And we're going to talk about how we're going to do that. First, I'm going to have Dave talk about a little bit about this district's plans. But before I do, I want to make a couple of announcements. Number one, if you have one of these that rings, please put it on silent or vibrate. And number two, I can't come to this district without acknowledging my great friend, Gloria Kloster. We were governors together in 04-05. And yes. And she was the distinguished and outstanding governor in in this region. I had the misfortune of being placed in the same region with Gloria. Actually, it was very fortunate because I would have not gotten the chance to get to know her so well. But during that year, your district was the #2 district in all of Optimist International, and unfortunately, that relegated me to #3 in my district. So, but it was a wonderful experience. Gloria, it's so great to see you. I know everybody here is glad to see you, and just wishing you all the best. I know you would have been Optimist International president a few years ago under different circumstances. At this time, I would like to introduce Dave Martin to talk about some things locally here in this district.
Well, basically, Mark, I just wanted to say, wow, what an introduction to Optimist International and our story district.
Can't hear you. Can't hear.
Take it off.
Okay, I have to eat this thing, right? So this is we've got a tremendous heritage in Optimist International in the last 100 years. And for those of us who are fortunate enough to be leaders in this, leading into the 2nd century, as club presidents, as lieutenant governors, and as district leaders, we are extremely lucky to be in this position. And I was just thinking, while we honor the past, which we definitely need to do, we've now got this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be bold, to dream big, and to take action. I'm going to say that one more time. This is our opportunity to be bold, to dream big, and to take action as we head into the 2nd century of optimism. And why? Well, that's kind of a simple question, a simple answer. We want to do that so we can grow our clubs. We all know we need to grow clubs. We need to grow the DMM and Optimist International so we can fulfill our mission, which is serving and impacting the lives of so many kids, because they need it now more than ever. And I would encourage you to dream big. And people will say, you're dreaming, way too big. It's always impossible. And it is. Some of our big dreams are impossible until we do it. And that's the big key. Everybody, they say, you can't do it. It's impossible. It's impossible until we get out and show them that we can do it. And we can do it. This is a fantastic district, as many of our Optimist International leaders that have come through have told us time and time again. So I've got great expectations and great hopes for what we can do this year. And the nice thing about it is, as we're working with youth and impacting their lives, we get a side benefit. By doing that, we're making ourselves better people. And when you get up in the mirror and look in the mirror in the morning, you can look at yourself and say, hey, we're doing good things. I'm a better person today than I was yesterday. So that's just kind of the thing that I wanted to get you thinking about: being bold, dream big, and take action. And so now I've said enough for what I want to do right now. I want to turn the pressure over on Mark. I don't want to put any more pressure on you, Mark, but I know that you are going to be a fantastic speaker, and you're going to give us all sorts of good wisdom. So, take it over.
Sounds good. We are a great organization. Dave, I'm so glad you finished with what you did. I'll try and stay in front of the camera, I forgot. Because that's the part the video doesn't show, is what this organization has done for us, for our membership. And let's not forget, when we're recruiting people for our clubs, to talk about that as well. It's so fantastic, the great projects we do for our youth, but at the same time, we have also benefited as members. I'm an introverted computer geek. When I joined this organization, I would have never stood up in front of a group of people like this and talked. In fact, when I went to my first district meeting, I essentially hid in a corner, tried to not be in the back of the room. It might be my coat that did that. I would hide in the back of the room, in the hospitality room. I wouldn't talk to anybody unless, you know, my friend from my own club would introduce me to somebody. And yet, this organization has enabled me to be now an accomplished public speaker, as well as it's given me project planning skills. It's given me all kinds of things. Is Cheryl in the room? She mentioned in your last newsletter your professional development program. Let's not forget that program, because that's of great benefit to our membership as well.
Cheryl?
I thought that. So stand up for a second. If anybody doesn't recognize Cheryl, I assume, are you like the leadership development chair this year? I had a feeling, because I saw in the newsletter you did a great write-up on the professional development program, which is now, go ahead and sit down. I don't want to make you. For me, I can't stand up for more than about 10 minutes without my knees barking. But the professional development program is designed to provide professional marketable skills. The PGI was designed more for the things that were club-oriented. The professional development program is member-oriented. And we want you to start utilizing that, because people who are at the beginnings of their careers will be interested in having the certificate that's presented by Optimist International for completion of that program to show their employers that they have been through this program. So I encourage you to do that. That's just one of the many benefits our organization has provided. I do want the, oh, am I just blanked out? I want my PowerPoint up. There's really nothing to see. I do want it up there, but it's not really, most of what we're going to do today is going to be a little bit interactive, but I do have a couple of things I did want you to see. So we'll talk about that. But this is a year of celebration, culminating in Louisville. He pronounced it wrong, it's Louisville, not Louisville. In Kentucky in July with our international convention, which is going to be really fabulous. I encourage you all to go. It's within driving distance, really, especially for this district that drives 4 hours to come to a district meeting. You can get to Louisville, okay. Am I blacked out? Oh, yes, I am. So these were some of the facts that were presented in the video. I just put them up there in case you want to write any of those down. If you think of the way this country has changed over the last 100 years and how optimists have participated in that change and helped make this world a better place, it's just really amazing to think about it. We started out we started out as an organization to help business, because business people felt they would be more successful taking an optimistic approach to business. And so they got together to talk to each other about how to be positive and how to bring positivity into their business and make them more successful by doing that. Very soon after that, they adopted the motto, friend of the delinquent boy. And then eventually that evolved into friend of youth. And now, by providing hope and positive vision, optimists bring out the best in youth, our communities, and ourselves. So you can hear just from that evolution how that kind of mirrors our society. And what has happened in the most recent years is science has discovered, not discovered, but they have proven what we already knew, that optimism makes us happier, healthier, and more successful. And that's what this organization brings to ourselves. So why should we celebrate? Because we're proud to be an optimist. And what we're asking people to do everywhere, in each club, in each community, is to make that community aware of the presence of optimists, how long we've been there, that we've been there in some cases for 100 years. In the case of my club in Santa Barbara, we've been around for 47 years. And when you think about that, every year we do an oratorical contest, as do many of you, most of you. That means 45 years ago, some 14-year-old participated in our oratorical contest and is now approaching middle age, because isn't 60 like the new 40 or something? So, and those people now today making an impact on their communities benefited from an Optimist Club. When I go talk to new communities about optimism in our clubs, invariably I will have somebody come up to me and say, you know, when I was a kid, Optimist did this for me, and it changed my life. Each oratorical contest is a life-changing event for these children who participate. Not just the winners, every single one. When I was in Brentwood, we were building a club in Brentwood, and we went to a school, and we were looking for the principal in the office, and it was after school, it was a busy time, and people were running around, and somebody came up and saw the pin that I was wearing, and he looked at it, he said, when the principal came out, he said to her, whatever these people say, listen to them. And then he just ran off. And we were like, this has never happened before. What the heck was that? And so we asked the principal for the guy's name and the email address because we wanted to get in touch with him. We thought, well, maybe this guy will join our club. And he did. He became the charter president of that club. And we still didn't know why he had said that until he addressed the charter organization meeting of the club, and we handed him the gavel as the charter president. And he said, when I was 14 years old, I participated in an oratorical contest, and I stood in front of a group of 100 people talking about a very controversial subject, and they were all listening to me. And I felt so empowered that that's why I'm a teacher today. We do that every year with our oratorical contests. We take ourselves for granted. We just, oh, who's bringing the cookies? Who's getting the judges? Do we have the timer? We're all caught up in that, but we forget that what happens on that stage is a life-changing moment for those children. And it may impact their future and the future impact on your community. And so, it's time to celebrate how great we are and to tell people how great we are. And so that's what we want to do throughout the year. We've already started. Last July was kicked off at our convention in Ottawa. And now it goes through September 30th this year. And so we want to have centennial celebrations in every country to do that. And these are the kinds of things you can do with to make a centennial event for your program. And that is, you can do it as a now program, a new Optimist Welcome, which is a membership drive. You could just do community service projects, pointing out the legacy of 100 years. You can do marketing around this. You can do events in your community, marketing how maybe your club has been in the community for 50 years. Do a celebration of that in conjunction with the centennial. And you might also be able to get corporate donors to do it. So now what we're going to do, because this is what I like to do, I took a lot of the slides out of these presentations because I think it's better, I forget, sorry. Are there people zoomed in? Are there people watching remotely? Or?
No,
okay.
Millions of people.
Yeah, millions.
Well, you can do that now with technology.
We're international here.
What we're going to do right now is I'm going to give you the opportunity, so each table, I want you to work together at each table, and I want you to come and Greg, you can work with these two behind you. We're going to talk about how you would do a centennial celebration in your community, okay? And I want you to come up with some ideas, then we're going to come back to the group and we're going to share some of those ideas. So you can think about your particular community or any particular community. I know there's different club sizes. A lot of you are in clubs that are over 50 members. You might have a lot more resources to do something than a smaller club. So you might want to address those issues. But for right now, for the next 10 minutes, I'd like you to, at each of your tables, work on a centennial celebration that you might do in your community. Stop what you're doing. Maybe afterwards you'll have more time to get together and finish these plans off. I hope you come. I like a lot of what I heard, and the animation in the group sounds like we're going to have some good ideas. We're going to ask you to share some ideas. Wait for Kevin to come with the microphone before you start talking.
Dave, you need to ding your bell.
So can I have your attention, please?
Dave.
This is what we do at school.
Attention, please.
Thank you. That worked. One of the comments I heard right close up was optimism is contagious. It sure is. And that's what we have to be in our communities, is a source of optimism in our communities. And we need to celebrate that. So who wants to share what they came up with in their groups? Okay, there we go.
No.
We got one here.
So we'll get you next.
Well, we have a club within a club, and with the university, we got a student union kind of promoting optimism there and having birthday cake for the kids to show them that we're in the 100th, having a 100-year birthday party at the university. And then we also talked about, the normal stuff, picnic or something like that to throw out there. We talked about Hy-Vee, they're good to us down there, and we sell pies for them, so we could tie in something like that to give away free pie or something like that. If we have a Starbucks in there, we could do even cake there to do balloons and all sorts of things to celebrate there and still make it into a now event too for that. So
Great.
it's endless.
I lost my microphone guy.
Just a minute.
We'll get you.
Just the,
So we talked a little bit here, and we talked about just getting the information out about being 100 years old. Get it in your local newspaper, TV, radio. Maybe you have a community channel that you have in your town. I know in the smaller towns it works a little bigger than the bigger cities. Sometimes it's really hard to get in good news out there, but it could be there. In your meeting, run the video. What a great speaker. 15 or 20 minutes right there that people understand more what we're doing. Maybe part of a Now program. So if you're doing a Now program, bring this up. Again, the speaker. In your newsletter, bring it up there. Put it out that we're doing this. Club events. Tie it to your club events. Have 100 years of optimism on your club events and go from that one. Wear in your local wear. Wear your local wear to work. Wear it every day. Wear your pin. If you've got a Just Ask button from way back, people say, what's that all about? A great opportunity to step in and talk about optimism, what we do for the community, what we do for the youth and ourselves. There's just other ways that people get to know who we are, and they're just amazed that we're even around, and then when they hear 100 years, they'll be really like, wow, tell me more. So
Great. And speaking of Just Ask, let's go back there. I have a suggestion for you. Sorry, put on there, Just Ask what I've been doing for the last 100 years.
There you go. Or just ask what you can do for the foundation. Come and talk to me. Anyway, we talked about lots of different great ideas, but the DMM, who knows what the first club was in our district?
Minneapolis.
Wouldn't it be wonderful to show how from that one club, we have grown to what we are now and what the progression was? So I think it would, a DMM tree, which I love, but wouldn't that be fun to show that and interview someone from each club, put a video together and show how the clubs grew and put that on Facebook?
Yeah.
Give it to the news media, let everyone know how we've grown.
Great. We have time for one more. We'll put it over here. You've got 2 minutes, and then we're going to move on to our next topic.
Get a proclamation from your mayor, your governor, to celebrate either Optimist International 100 years or your club's birthday, just to celebrate that. At events you have, recognized every time that this is our 100th year. Invite back prior Optimist members from your clubs and have them come and maybe talk a little bit about what Optimist did for them and maybe get them back into the club. Do something every month to recognize our organization and celebrate the 100th year. Have PSAs on local radio stations. And then this was a neat idea. Recognize what would not have happened if we weren't an Optimist club in your organization. So kind of along that, the story of Jimmy Stewart, It's a Wonderful Life, when he flashed back and what would have happened if, or would not have happened if he wasn't there. So is that 2 minutes?
Thank you so much. Yeah. Give yourselves a round of applause, because here's what happened just now. They gave me a whole bunch of slides with ideas to share with you about Centennial celebrations and how to do them. Instead of me having to do all that talking, you did it for me. So thank you very much for making my life easier. And you did a better job. In fact, the last idea you just had was one that wasn't on my list of things. So that's fantastic. I think that's a great idea. If you would like, they have a document that has 100 ways to celebrate the centennial. So they've got actually 100 ideas. That's what I was supposed to do, stand up here and do. Number one. No, that's not true. But if you email leadership@optimist.org and ask for that document called 100 Ways to Celebrate the Centennial, they will send that to you. Okay? And now...
Mark, we'll put that on our website.
Fantastic. Great. What he said was that will go up on your website, a link to that, and or maybe you'll get the document and put the whole document up there.
Yeah, the whole 100.
So at this time, I would like to return control of your television sets to Dave.
Okay, thanks, Mark. You've given us a lot of food for thought, and there were some fantastic ideas that were brought up. That's kind of a tough act to follow. Now I'm going to kind of bring in some heavy artillery too, and I'm going to ask Edie to help me on our next little segment here. And we're going to just, let me give you this one. We're going to sit down for a while, have a little chat. Okay.
It's on. That one's better than Dave's.
Oh, I thought you gave me the good one.
Yeah, I think
Oh, you got the good one. Okay, that's right. Sorry. I didn't know which one she had.
Okay, Edie, we've heard a lot about, growth and goals. We need to set up goals. And I know OI has got some goals for the international organization. So what are some of those goals and how can we kind of tie up?
So when I first got together with Dave and the rest of the governors, we asked them from Optimist International to make goals, 4 goals for their year. And Dave came up with some awesome goals, but he needs his team, you guys, to help him achieve these goals. So the first one is growth. I mean, we all know that if we're not growing, we're dying. So Dave, you wanted to expand the impact of OI in the DMM district.
Right, and so how do we do that? We're always thinking in terms of numbers, and I remember when you first asked us to set a goal, how we wanted to finish the year, I was a little cautious, and I thought about that, and I thought, okay, I'll give you a goal of we're going to finish with a net 25. And you accepted that. And then I got home and I was thinking, and then I started talking with some of our leaders in the district, and I said, I think we can do better than that. And we talked back and forth, and we came up with, we want to finish the year this year, the centennial year, our 100th anniversary, with a plus 100. That sounds like an awesome goal, and I thought about that, and I thought, but it's attainable. Very, very attainable for a couple of reasons. A few years ago, Don Stover was governor, and I worked with him, and we came up and we ended the year with a plus 87 members. So if we can do it back then, we can do it now. So that's our number one goal, is to finish a plus 100. And then how do we do it? You're going to ask me how we're going to do it?
Yeah. How are you going to do that, Dave?
I got an answer for that.
Follow the script.
Yeah, because you can have goals, but if you don't have a plan, it's just a wish. And I think we all realize that, and that's how we set goals, but we forget the plan part, the strategy part. So, okay, how are we going to reach that plus 100? Well, I think if we ask every club in the district to finish the year plus 1, now that should be kind of a no-brainer. That's not that difficult to do. But I would encourage you to push that a little bit to become an honor club. That's plus 3. So if we can get half of the clubs in our district to become honor clubs, that we're well on our way. And then, of course, shoot for distinguished. So if every club ends at +1, okay, then we lieutenant governors, you gotta watch your clubs. So I don't see any reason why every zone can't finish at least a +10 or 15 or 20, depending upon if you build a club in your zone. So, let's have 50% of our clubs in the district, which would be about 28. Let's have 28 honor clubs in the DMM this year. It can be done, you just have to work at it. The one other quick little thing I would mention along that line is I would like to see us develop a new philosophy. Now, back when Don was governor and we developed this plan, I was really pushing an old plan that we used many, many years ago, was don't drop until you can add a member. And that was very successful, and we used that during Don's administration, during Ken's administration. So I would like to go back to that philosophy, maybe not as structured as we had it then, but just keep a mindset for your clubs. If you have to drop a member, and if you have to drop a member, before you drop that member, I would encourage you to personally talk to those members and say, why do you want to leave? Why do you want to drop? Is it something we're doing? Find out, maybe you can turn it around. If they have to drop, if they insist on drop, try talking them into joining, becoming a friend of Optimus. Because we used that very successfully on our own club this past year when Greg was president. We turned, what was it, Greg, about 4 members who wanted to drop into Friends of Optimus. That's 4 members that we saved. So really try to save your members. And then, as I said, get that philosophy drummed into your head that if we have to drop a member, let's go out and replace that member right away. Let's not wait until September and then get in a panic about we're 50 members down or 20 members down, So that's how we're going to do it.
Dave, in my home club, we just have it's not a rule, but it's just what we do is if we're going to delete one, we have to add one. So the president will say, okay, Susie moved away, so we need a new member, and we don't delete Susie until we have a new member to bring in, and it makes us bring in a member.
Yeah.
So your next goal that you had that you gave to me is engagement and training. You want to strengthen clubs through effective management and leadership development. That was your goal number 2.
Okay, goal number 2. Okay, I think I remember that. And I think we're well on our way there because a few years ago we started a strategic planning conference, and we had 8, I think, subcommittees studying every aspect of optimism in the district. And we decided, what is it that we need to change? What things do we need to tweak? How can we do things differently? And Sally and I are going to talk about that a little bit more this afternoon. But we really made some good progress on that. And so we're going to look to, shake things up a little bit. Do some things different. Okay. One thing, you can do, the clubs that meet once a month or every other week or whatever, in the morning or noon or whatever, and you don't get all the members to attend club meetings, right? That's normal, that's not the end of the earth. But maybe if, with so many of the younger people, they like to have more of a social event. So, I can't keep talking about our club, but we've got a young president coming in. He decided that he wanted to have a once-a-month coffee session, just for networking, to get to know each other a little bit better. A lot of us don't know what the other person, what they do in their real life. So that gives them a little opportunity to network and to get together once a month for coffee at 7:30 in the morning for an hour. And then they decided, well, we meet in the morning, why don't we try a happy hour too? So once a month, they have a happy hour at 5:30. Same thing, If you got some time, stop in, and they rotate places to go. Stop in for a half hour, have a beer, and chat again. And that has brought in a lot of members that we haven't seen in our regular meetings. So that's the thought, shake things up, do things a little bit different.
Just to expand on what Dave's saying there a little bit, we had a Now event in my community, Now New Optimists Wanted, And what we did was we had a backyard bonfire. We put the creed and the banners up along with my fence. We just had a bonfire. Everybody brought a little bit of food, what they wanted to eat, and their cooler. We sat around and we ended up having 90 people showed up because our Optimist members brought a bunch of friends. It was like a big party in town. And that night we signed 9 people. So I'm figuring out now, and I think everybody is, Optimist International included, is that the meeting, having I'm going to say stuffy meeting, because just having a meeting and sitting around and talking isn't working anymore, especially with the young people. You've got to do something fun with them. So another thing that we did was we had a bowling night, free bowling night in town. We just advertised it like crazy. Come out and bowl with us. We signed 3 people that night. So shake it up, try some different things.
Right, the best way to recruit is recruit when you're having fun, rather than, like you say, the old meetings.
Yeah, close the deal. You got it. If you start, open the deal, close it.
And tell everybody how big your community is.
Oh.
Yeah, well, I think we're just about at 10,000 people. 90,000, no, 10,000. And yeah, it's just spiraled.
And a lot of, this is just another little aside, when we're talking about building new clubs, you know, I think we have more success going into the smaller communities. And, well, I wasn't going to go into this right now, but as long as we're on the topic, you know, rather than go in and, you know, we used to pay something down the street, you know, knocking on doors, cold calling, and talking to the banker, the president of the bank, you know, would you join? Well, they're already Rotarians and stuff. And we got to thinking, why not go after the soccer moms, the people that get things done, you know? I mean, you want something to get done, you go to a soccer mom, and she'll get them done. So those are, you know, think outside the box when we're talking about recruiting.
Busy people are the best people to get. When somebody says, oh, I'm too busy to do that, I try and hook them even harder. Because if they're busy, that means they get off their tush and they do stuff. So busy people are the best people.
Exactly.
Now goal number 3, your third goal that you gave me was marketing. Raise the profile of Optimist International and each local club through media and community. And
that's going to be my almost number 1 goal this year, is to really ramp up our marketing and public relations. You know, I get tired of people saying you're the best kept secret in town. Well, we need to get the word out. We need to communicate with our newer members the way they communicate. You know, I'm a big email guy. You know, that's how I ramble on, you know, in my emails.
Until they get lost.
I knew the president says, I never read emails. So I thought, text it. He said, if you want to get in touch with me, text it. So, okay, if people want to, you know, if that's how they communicate, then that's how we're going to have to adapt. Dennis Vermillion, he sent out a news release recently to the local newspaper about, you know, the upcoming essay contest, oratorical contest, and CCDH. Did a fantastic job. He's already ahead of the game. He sent out a news release. That's what we have to do. Everybody's got newspapers, you know, radio, television. We need to make personal contact with those. You know, it's not good enough just to send out a news release to somebody at such and such station. We need to develop a personal contact and talk to those people. And they will. We had a big concert a few months back, and we were trying to reach as many people as we can. And one afternoon, like the day before the concert, one of the TV stations called me and said, "We've got a cancellation. Can you come in and talk about your Elvis concert coming up?" I said, "You bet." And so I had to get up at 6:30 in the morning, go down to the TV station. But rather than just a little blurb, you know, the Optimist Club is going to have, we sat there for 10 minutes talking about it. And I spent 5 minutes talking about optimism. In the last 5 minutes, I had Elvis with me. And, you know, we talked to him. That was, we couldn't have paid. We couldn't have afforded to pay for that advertising. And it was great. I had people, you know, calling and saying, "Hey, we saw that." Great. Those are the little things. You know, I should have thought of that before. I should have made this contact. but, you know, how things go. So that's what, you have to think outside the box, you know, reach out to the meeting.
In my district, we have a couple of the clubs that are younger members and they're really into Facebook. So they do all their conversations through private messenger. And their Facebook pages are awesome and they just keep updating them. Every time something happens, they put it on their Facebook page. And they honestly, for some of the events that we've had, they've sold numerous tickets on the Facebook page because everybody sees it, it's out.
Right, and that's one of the things we did with our concert too. We advertised, and if they wanted to buy a ticket, they called me. I got a lot of telephone calls. That's fine, or they can order online. So yeah, that's the other thing we have to do.
Okay, so goal number 4. Do you remember what that was?
No, I don't.
Okay.
But we're out of time, I think.
Okay, develop financial strength to reduce reliance on members and clubs. How are you going to do that?
Yeah, we've talked about this too at a strategic planning and how we can raise money as a district to fund some of the things that we have to do. I mean, we've got a great golf program, and that's not, they don't get a nickel from OI, they don't get a nickel from the district to host the district golf tournament. And you know, if we're promoting that, maybe the burden should fall on the district a little bit to help them out. Now, Bismarck has done a fantastic job the last 2-3 years. This year they raised $20,000, I think it was, Jerry, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
10,000.
I thought it was 20,000.
What, I'm sorry?
For the golf tournament? Did you?
Yes, golf tournament, yeah.
Yeah, you raised $20,000
20,000.
to put that golf tournament on. And that enabled them to send a couple of kids to Florida. You know, why can't we find a sponsor for our CCDHH contest on a district-wide level? Somebody said, and you know, maybe you could take this back to, why don't we find national hearing aid companies or people like that to help fund CCDHH? I mean, hearing aid companies, hard of hearing, that's a no-brainer, you know. And so we need to find, you know, some of those connections. And, you know, Greg's been wrapping his brain and trying to think of how we can dip into the corporate pockets. And we wanted, on a district-wide level, if we can do that without harming, you know, your connection of, you know, your sponsors. But we need to find sponsors throughout the district. So that's some of the things that we're looking at that way.
So there's Dave's 4 goals. Are you guys on board with this? You guys going to help him out? Is this going to be a team?
Yeah.
Right on time. You're right on time.
This is amazing. We are on time. Okay, the next thing. 2 minutes? Okay, I talked too long in that last
You make a
session.
good secretary treasurer.
He would.
He's doing a great job, let me tell you. Okay, now our next thing is we want to introduce the team. So I'm going to start with my committees. I got to get my list so I don't forget it. That's the 11th page. Yeah, that was what we just did.
Dave, first timers?
Oh, yeah. Gary, where are you? You can take a few minutes and introduce your first timers.
Oh, okay.
Bring him up.
Push it this way. There you go. Hey, more candy for us.
You're hired, you do a great job moving tables.
Do you want to talk?
I can talk.
You want to talk? No. You bring up your first timers.
Oh, I thought maybe you wanted to counsel.
No.
All the first timers that are here, come on up front. Notice they're slowly getting up. That's because you never sleep well on the first night of the whole day.
work at home, it doesn't make any difference, so. We had a total of 7 last night in the session I held, and the breakfast, I don't know where it was, doesn't make any difference. I want to tell you that, whoop, I'm sorry. I got more enthused as I was talking to these people last night. I'm telling you, it really went on a little longer than you wanted it to, right?
Yeah, longer than 30 minutes.
Yep, see, I never said a time limit though. But
I wasn't my fault.
Yeah, she took up most of the time. So I tell you what, we got some good leadership up here. I'm sorry we don't have any more than we had. There's 3 missing right now. A couple of young guys that first timers really have the idea and caught on. I opened it up to conversation, and we could have gone on for another hour.
No.
I tell you, see you later. See, tell me what to do now. That's great. No,
Gary could have gone on for another hour.
yes, you were in there. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself. How long you been an Optimist?
2008.
Okay. And club?
New Ulm.
And
What's your name?
Who are they?
I said.
Oh, Deb Hertling, New Ulm, 2008.
Zach Anitayo, St. Paul, 2016, 2 years.
2 years.
Bob Hurt from Brookings. I first became an Optimist back when Dave was still a member of the Brookings Club.
Yeah, long enough.
I took about a 14-year break while I worked, and then I joined when I retired. So I've been an Optimist for a while, but yes, this is the first time I've been to a district since you came back. That's great.
I'm Dave Johnson. This probably isn't my first. I was thinking it's been a long time since I've been at one, so that's why I'm up here.
That's good.
And I can't remember when. I think it was in the 1900s.
But God, he's older than me.
No, it's at least 20 years.
20 years. Good. Good.
I've got a
Okay. As we normally do, we always give them something to do to meet everybody. So the contest continues. Pass them up. Do you have anything for him, or are you not going to hand anything out?
No.
No. Okay. I guess that's the governor. He can do what he wants. Oh, go ahead. Yes. Thank you. Again, if they keep on the path they're going and how they understand optimism, the biggest thing we talked about last night was what can we use to promote the organization? Anybody want to guess?
People.
The creed. And every one of them talked about the creed last night. And that is your sales tool. Absolutely is. We need to grow and all that kind of stuff, get people involved. Communication is obviously something that we need to improve on all the time. We talked about it a minute ago. Anyway, keep up doing what you're doing. Go around and get as many signatures as you can to say hi, who you are, and all that kind of stuff. And we'll bring you back later this afternoon.
Get a little closer together. So
Closer together.
Like your friends or something. It's an optimistic thought. Say, got it.
Okay, thank you. Give me a hand. Thank you, Gary.